What's up, guys? Marcellus Williams here, aka TheSwolefessor, aka Pectosaurus Rex, here to educate you on health, fitness, and social well-being. Today, guys, I'm going to be teaching you under what circumstances you should bulk, cut, or maintain.
I am the greatest.
Someone with power! Someone with power! Someone with dash!
Alright, guys, so in my last informative video, I went over how to calculate your calories based off if you want to bulk, cut, or maintain. But a few of you, especially some of my viewers who are new to lifting as a whole, may be wondering under what circumstances should I bulk, cut, or maintain. So that's what we're going to be going over. Alright, guys, so the first thing we're going to cover is cutting. I know that's what most of you care about, whether you're a guy or girl. Everybody wants to be lean. Everybody wants to be a little bit shredded. I'll be honest, I'm not that shredded right now. I'm on the bulk myself, but it's okay. You get the point. So anyway, guys, here's the thing. As far as cutting, there's really only two reasons you should ever be doing that. The first one is primarily going to be for health. If you're extremely overweight or obese, then obviously you need to be on a cut so that you can drop a lot of that unhealthy fat in order to just have a better foundation for really building muscle. Now, for my beginners who are completely new to lifting, but they're also overweight or obese, you're still going to be able to build muscle while you're cutting, simply because you're going to be doing more of a body recomposition on your cut, which means as you're burning away at that fat, you'll be building muscle mass up as well. The reason for that is because you're new to lifting, you're providing stimulus to your body that it's not used to. You're providing that new stimulus to cause muscle growth, as well as the fact that your body's going to pull on those fat reserves as extra energy to help build muscle. But with that being said, keep in mind, when I say overweight or obese, it's due to your body fat percentage, not so much what's on the scale. Keep in mind, you can't be considered overweight based off having too much muscle mass, but there's no health hazards to that. So the first thing is always going to be, if you're overweight or obese due to body fat percentage, then you're definitely going to want to go on a cut to get rid of it. Alright, guys, the second reason you're going to ever want to go on a cut is pretty obvious. It's going to be if you finished a bulk, meaning if you've taken the time, whether it's a few months, years, however much time you want it to take to build up a certain amount of muscle mass, you're going to get to a point where you're going to kind of want to see what you're working with. You're going to want to see the full development of those muscles you've been working to build. So in order to do that, you have to cut down your body fat percentage so you can actually see development in the muscles. So basically, I bring this up because a lot of people get caught in a bulk life. And what I mean by that is, bulking isn't something you should be doing for forever. There should be an end to it at some point. Now, mind you, I'm not talking about necessarily being in a surplus for too long, because there are some circumstances where you are going to be in a surplus the majority of the time. If you're trying to stay in a certain weight class for something, whether it's, powerlifting, football, or if you're just constantly bulking up because you constantly want energy to, just do different extreme activities. But at a point, that's just keeping your calories in a surplus. You're not so much trying to continuously build muscle. You're staying in a surplus for, outside purposes other than that. What I mean by you shouldn't be bulking forever is that you can't think that, okay, I'm just going to keep building more and more and more muscle, because over time, you are going to get to a point where you're putting on fat with that muscle as well. In fact, that's more than likely going to happen no matter what. So in order to really be able to see that muscular development, you are going to have to eventually, go on a deficit, lean out to really see what that looks like. That's what toning means, guys. Like, toning just means that your muscles are developed to a point to where when your body fat percentage is low enough, you can really see how developed they are. That's all toning means. So the second reason you're going to want to go on a cut is because you finished a bulk, you've gotten your muscles to a point where they're developed to where you want them to be, and now you kind of want to see what you have to work. Alright, guys, so what I'm going to be covering next is under what circumstances should you be bulking. The first one is obvious. If you're underweight, if you're somebody where you're just naturally really skinny or really lean or really underweight, you don't need to be worrying about a deficit at all. Your focus needs to be on building strength, building muscle, and the most optimal way to do that is to be in a caloric surplus and bulk. Just put all your emphasis on being consistent in the gym, training hard, and eating hard. Give your body that fuel that it needs in order to really produce that muscle mass. Alright, guys, the second reason you're going to want to bulk is kind of like what I mentioned during the cutting portion of the video, is if you're only focused on strength and energy. If you really don't care that much about aesthetics, let's say you're a power lifter, a football player, or you're just someone where you just want to be able to throw around heavy weight, then go ahead and get in a surplus, be on a bulk. Granted, you don't have to be in a caloric surplus to gain strength. Strength stems from your central nervous system, predominantly more than anything else, and I'll go over that at a later time. But being in a surplus definitely helps you with your strength because it gives you that energy you need, that fuel you need, not only to build muscle, but to make those strength gains as well. So if you're somebody where, hey, I don't have to be the most shredded dude, I just want to be strong, I want to be able to lift heavy weight, I want to be able to pick my girlfriend up and have some fun with her, then you know what? You need to be on a bulk. Alright guys, so now that we've covered cutting and bulking, the last thing is knowing under what circumstances should you keep your calories at a maintenance level so that you can relatively maintain the same weight. So the first one, this mainly applies to my beginners. This is only, my beginners as well as, like I said, if you're overweight or obese. But if you're completely brand new to lifting, and let's say you're not really underweight or overweight. Let's say you're relatively lean, but you have a little bit just of that flab. A lot of people think, okay, I have some of this flab, let me go on a cut, get really lean, and then go on a bulk. That's not necessary, guys. If you're in your first year to really 2-3 years of lifting, you can do, as I said, what's called a body recompositioning. It's one of those few instances where you can actually build muscle and burn fat at the same time. Basically, if you just have a little bit of that flab on your stomach or any part of your body, it's not a huge deal. Once you start lifting weights, for one, you're going to sort of put your body in a deficit, so to speak, for the mere fact that you're going to be expending more caloric energy than what you were before because you're going from doing nothing to training consistently in the gym anywhere from 3 to 6 times a week. So doing that is going to be burning fat. At the same time, you're going to be building muscle mass for the mere fact that, like I said, you're providing a stimulus to your body that it didn't once have. Your muscles are going to be forced to grow and adapt in order to continuously lift the heavier weight as you progressively overload. So under those circumstances, there really isn't a need to go on a cut or really even a bulk. You're naturally going to start building muscle mass and burning fat at the same time anyway, as well as the fact that, the more muscle mass you have, the more fat you'll burn at rest. So if that's you and you're a beginner and, you think, oh, maybe I need to go on a cut to have a little bit of flab, don't worry about it. You really don't need to. You can stay at your maintenance level calories or a very slight surplus and you will still burn fat and build muscle at the same time. Alright guys, the second reason that you should want to, just maintain is if you're actually just happy with your current physique. Let's say that you're someone where you've been lifting for a while, you've gone through a few bulks, a few cuts, or maybe just from your first body recomposition over your first 3 years, you're happy with where you're at. Let's say that you just want to focus on maybe getting stronger, but not so much getting bigger. I don't know why you would want that, but hey, if that's you, and I respect that. But let's say you want to just maintain your physique. You can continuously get stronger by progressively overloading and gradually adding more reps and weights to your workout. But if you stay at a caloric maintenance level, you won't really be, emphasizing that much muscle hypertrophy, muscle growth. So if you're somebody where, hey man, I look pretty good, I'm okay with this, I'm good with this, then that's okay. Just stay at a caloric maintenance, keep training, and you'll pretty much stay around the same body weight. Alright guys, so now that you have an understanding of that, you now know from my previous video how to bulk, cut, or maintain, and with this video, you now have an understanding of under which circumstances should you bulk, cut, or maintain. If you guys have any more questions, you already know, leave your boy a comment down below. I read all the comments, guys. I try to answer them as quickly as I can, and if you have a really good question, I often try to make a video out of it to address, a lot of other people that may have that same question. So, any questions, guys? Leave your boy a comment. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If it helped you out, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it greatly if y'all would subscribe. And just thank you for everybody who's been supporting me so far. Whether you just viewed the video, shared it, liked, commented, whatever. It's great, guys. I'm really enjoying this. I'm having fun with it. As you can see, your boy's getting a little bit more comfortable with the camera, getting, just a little bit more confident. But seriously, guys, I hope this helped you out. And remember, as always, keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.
I am the greatest.
Someone look color! Someone look color! Someone with pants!